Welcome back to another episode of Gear Review here on Barbecue and Bottles. And this time we're going to be doing a review on the updated HomeRite Electro-Torch. We've been using the older version of this model for the last couple of years, and this one just got released earlier in 2019. So we're going to do a review of some of the new features and just overall our general thoughts on using an electric starter for your charcoal. So as opposed to doing just a pure review, we're going to do it in combination with a tomahawk steak that we're going to do reverse seared. And the reason we chose the tomahawk steak is it's really going to highlight our favorite feature of this Electro-Torch. And if you want to know what that favorite feature is, stick around. I'll tell you, it's a bit of a game changer. It certainly has been for our grilling, so stick around. So to start with our reverse seared tomahawk, what we're going to do is get a USDA prime cut of beef. And this is the number one most important factor here, is just making sure you're getting a high quality cut of meat. And as you can see, we've actually dry brined this. Now we've gone through the dry brine process on other videos, and we'll just show you quickly here how we've done that. But we've pre-salted this almost 3 days ago, and we just put a generous amount of salt all over the tomahawk, put it on one of these cooling racks, and then toss it in the fridge and let it sit there for at least 48 to 72 hours. And that salt is going to dissolve and absorb into the meat, break down some of the muscle fibers and tissues, and just make for an incredibly tender ribeye. And as you know, the tomahawk steak is a ribeye, and it's just the ribeye with the full bone left on here. So as opposed to just cutting off the ribeye and being left with simply the eye, what we've got here is the full bone, and this is an incredible party pleaser. It looks awesome, if nothing else, and it's going to taste incredible. So now that we've got the dry brine done and our steak's all ready to hit the grill, let's take you over and we'll show you how we're going to fire up the charcoal using this Electro-Torch. So you'll see we've got our charcoal down in the grill, and this is on one side just setting up so that we have a direct cooking zone and an indirect cooking zone. And now we're going to show you how to light this charcoal using an electrolyter. So we've got two features on this. If we hit the button forward, that's going to release the hot air that's going to come out the end of the torch here, and that's what's going to light the charcoal. The other one is the incredible new feature on this that I think is a bit of a game changer, especially for long cooks. So stick around, we'll talk about that one. But first, just to light this, you aim this down at your charcoal and just start up the lighter. So we'll time this and we'll see how long it takes before this is ignited.
So right now this is blowing 1500 degree Fahrenheit heat at that charcoal to get it started.
So even after about 15 seconds here, you can start to see that we're already getting sparks flying, the coals are lit up. So we're just going to continue hitting this with a little more heat, and then we'll pick another corner of the pile of charcoal to ignite as well. So we lit up an entire bottom layer of the charcoal here. So we're just going to let this charcoal pile sit, and it will self-ignite the rest of the pile here. So let's give that another 2 or 3 minutes and we'll check back in, and our charcoal should be ready to go. So I know there are a lot of different opinions on these electric starters out there on the internet, but there are a couple reasons that I think this is better than a few different methods for starting charcoal. First, if you're using lighter fluid, I mean, frankly, that's just amateur. You're putting on a lot of chemicals onto your charcoal. You're using that to light stuff that you're going to be cooking your food over top of. So this is a great chemical-free way to igniting and lighting your charcoal. If you're using a charcoal chimney, this methodology, you don't get your hands dirty crumpling up newspaper and stuffing that underneath the charcoal chimney. As you saw here, it really only took us 2 minutes to actually ignite the charcoal. So this is just as quick, if not faster, than actually using a charcoal chimney. And second, around that charcoal chimney piece is you get more accuracy in your placement of the charcoal. You're not igniting a chimney and then just dumping it into your kettle or your grill. You can actually set up your charcoal exactly how you want it and then have the electro lighter ignite it in place. And then some people are using heat guns, just regular construction heat guns. The challenge with those is that they don't have one of these nozzles. So as you're heating up your charcoal, you actually start to get a lot of heat coming up your arm. And that's particularly important if you're using this in a Kamado, where you're reaching down into your Kamado to ignite the charcoal and all that heat's just coming up in your arm. Those don't work. So the Electro-Torch, it's great value. This is only $50 on Amazon. We'll drop a link below if you're interested. So you can see here we've had this sitting for another 3 or 4 minutes, and this charcoal pile's lit up here now. So we're gonna get our grill grate on, get this heating up, ready for the tomahawk. All right, we've got the grill heated up, so let's get this tomahawk on. So we're gonna get this tomahawk on here on the indirect side. So now we've just gotta pick the wood that we're gonna use for smoking. Here we've got some pecan, and we're just gonna sprinkle that over top of the charcoal. That'll bring some incredible smoky flavors to this cook. And now we're gonna get our temp probe in here. This is a thick cut, so this is gonna take a while, and we need to make sure we're not cooking our steak. So let's get that in there into the thickest part of the ribeye, right in the middle. Now we'll cover this up. Now we're aiming for an internal temperature on the grill of about 275 to 300. And with the tomahawk, we're gonna be doing this indirect until we hit an internal temp of about 110. And then we're gonna do the reverse sear over top of the charcoal. So as you can see, we've got our steak on this side, we've got the charcoal and the wood chips on this side. So we're gonna have the smoke come up off of those chips. It'll go across our grill, it'll hit the steak, and then it can come out the vent here. So this is what you want to do. You always want to have your vent on the protein side so that the smoke isn't just coming straight up and out, and then it actually crosses over your grill, hits your protein before exiting through the lid. So we just hit an internal temp of 115 degrees on the tomahawk. Oh, just look at that. So this tomahawk's got an incredible red, rich smokiness to it. This is absolutely perfect, exactly what we're looking for. So now what we need to do is just get this charcoal fully lit up here, and that's the best feature of these Electro-Torches, is the second switch just blasts out some air, and it really helps on longer cooks like this to reignite your charcoal, just get it screaming hot. The number of times we've been cooking brisket or pork butts or anything that's a 10+ hour cook, we're continually having to monitor temperatures and work with our vents, and this is just a great easy way to just blow some hot air over your coals and get these coals ripping hot. So another cool feature is just this little kickstand. So when your Electro-Torch is hot, you can just pop it down and then set it down, and it's not going to burn anything, just like that. So now that we've got this ripping hot, we're just going to move our tomahawk right over top of the flames. And we're going to let that just sear off for about 60 seconds. Now we're gonna flip it after that first 60 seconds. Get the other side. Now that we've got that seared off, I'm just gonna transition it to the cutting board.
And now we need to let the steak rest for about 10 minutes. And while we're doing this, we're just gonna put on some compound butter. This is our homemade compound butter with garlic chives, fresh cracked black pepper, We'll drop a link below to the recipe if you haven't already seen it. So we're just gonna leave the steak here untented, just with this butter for 10 minutes.
All right, so we've had the tomahawk resting for about 10 minutes. We put on some compound butter. That's all melted away now. So what we're gonna do to carve this up is just come down the bone, just like that. Put the bone over here. And now we're gonna slice into this. So I'll show you here. We got a really nice medium rare, maybe a little bit done medium. That's just from the sear, the carryover from 115. You hit it with the heat, and then that can bring it up maybe a little bit beyond 125, what we were looking for. But this is just gonna be absolutely incredible. Now this was already seasoned with salt through the brining process that we talked about at the start. But of course, we haven't hit it with pepper yet. So let's go. Fresh cracked black pepper, put it on at the end. Make sure you don't burn it this way. Now for the taste test. That's just perfect. You can taste the smokiness of the pecan wood that we used. This done low and slow like that. Oh, it's really beautiful, nice and tender from the 2-day cure or dry brine that we had done. And so there you have it, folks. That's how we like using our Electro-Torch from HomeRite. Again, this is a great alternative to be a chemical-free, faster way to ignite your charcoal. And then of course, for low and slow cooks like this that run over an extended period of time, it's a great way to boost your charcoal halfway through. And there you have it. This is a tool that we think is well worth it for just under 50 bucks. So there you have it, folks. Here's how you do a reverse sear tomahawk, low and slow over charcoal using the HomeRite Electro-Torch. We love this video. If you liked it, consider hitting like below and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.